Hello, this is Valerie Aiello, and you're listening to Idea Diary. Thanks for coming back to my office and hanging out. So I was thinking about how I think social media is kind of over, at least in the way that we have thought about social media for the past, not a full 20 years, but definitely a solid 15 years, I would say. The one thing that has changed is that I think we're going to go back to the old way of doing things, the things that have worked for us in the past, which is publicity, marketing, and direct customer marketing. I think what social media has done is made brand building really easy for the average person, to where you can have your own show, your own radio show. You know, when I say show, I mean like, for example, like a YouTube series or any sort of YouTube video content, any sort of podcast content. I think you could have your own magazine, so digital magazine or physically mailed to someone's house magazine. Everything has gotten easier so the average person can do these things that used to be a huge big deal, now is kind of within reach for anybody. So I think that's the main thing that social media has done for us. But the whole idea of, I'm going to post this on social media and that's a free way to market something, that idea is dead. That's gone. Plus, if we think about the fact that mass media is over and we're going into a network media type of style of communicating, there isn't going to be like the big giant platform where all kinds of people are on. Everyone's going to kind of go into their little bubble type of platforms to where the people are talking about the things that they want to check out. You know, I want social media platforms where everyone's welcome and no one feels weird, but I think the idea that there's going to be millions of users on one thing is kind of going to change a little bit. I think there will always be something like a TikTok, whatever the new TikTok is. You know, I think there'll always be something like that where a lot of people, a lot of different styles of people connect in the same place. I think if people are going to be social media influencers and whatever that job's going to mean in 2021, I think that they're going to kind of decide, is my show, is my brand for everybody? Then I'm going to figure out a way to be on different platforms. So these like kind of micro social media platforms. The people that are for everybody will just figure like, I'm going to be on all of these small platforms and hopefully no one will judge me for that. Or I'm just going to pick one and I'm going to run with it. We'll see how that goes. But the social media influencer thing, or just opening a Facebook account and thinking there's a bunch of customers on here, there's so many people I can connect to, all I need to do is turn it on, that is not a reality. I think if you're going to use your social media, I think you've just got to think of it as, this is my brand building. How am I connecting with my customers every day to bring them something valuable in audio, video, or writing format? Some people can easily do all three, and some people are just going to be good at one, and they're going to stick with that until they can grow into all three, if that's what they want. There's still no rules. I just, these are the kinds of things that I'm thinking about now. I'm kind of throwing social media totally out of my brain because I feel like it's boring. I feel like it's not necessarily that valuable for certain type of businesses. Maybe it is very valuable for some, but I think the ones that really nail it with their social media, they're just really good at being social media influencers, and they're really good at connecting people, and they're really good at communicating something that's valuable that people want to check out every day. Not everyone's good at that. Probably not most people are good at that. It's a very unique quality, and it's great if you have it, but most people just don't. So I feel like, sure, have a Facebook page, have a Twitter page, have an Instagram page, have a TikTok page, have all the pages of all the things, but you don't have to be the master of any of them to get sales. You can focus on traditional type of things like publicity. Publicity has not gone away. It's only gotten more spread out because the people can have their own magazines, have their own shows, have their own radio shows. Using publicity, you might be connecting to smaller pockets of people. The micro influencers and the smaller audiences are way more specific for what those people are listening to that show for. If it's about pets, if it's about office stuff, if it's about the economy, if it's about politics, whatever it is, these like little micro influencer shows. I feel like I need a better word than shows because that's not really what I mean. But I feel like these people are creating little blogs with high traffic, shows with high views, podcasts with huge listens. I feel like those people have worked really hard, or they're just naturals, but they've gotten to the point where they can connect with an audience. And if you aren't good at that, you have to go on other people's shows. Don't worry about building an audience. You don't need a list. You don't need anything, but you do need to get yourself out there. So using publicity has never gone away, and I think it's going to get even more valuable for a brand, or if you're selling product. That's where you should put your energy on. How can I get my publicity plan in place? How can I connect with a lot of people that are in my genre of whatever it is that I'm doing? How can I build relationships to get on people's shows? I feel like that's what you want to focus on. You don't want to focus on how many people are following you and how many people liked a post, because I don't think it matters anymore. It might matter 20%. I think we might be at a 20% level of mattering, and I just my hunch, but I feel like when January hits, we're all going to be on a different stream of ideas of what it is to connect on the internet. So building your press. That's how you can sell stuff and get brand awareness without having a list and without having followers and active social media. The second thing is marketing, and I think that you can buy ads, which if you have the money to do it. You can have events, so kind of an event marketing, like an in-person, which is going to be a lot harder, obviously, during the apocalypse, but that was a good way to connect with customers and have fun and do things. We'll see how that goes. Ads, kind of in-person event marketing thing, something that's fun, or direct marketing. So having a super good relationship with your current customers, sending them offers, by email or text or whatever it is, getting them involved, hopefully creating some kind of brand content space. They can connect with you or feel like they're a part of something. It doesn't have to be a show. You don't have to spend all that time trying to create all this content to make your customers feel special. All these big brands that have people dedicated to their brand and buying their stuff for life. Certain food brands, certain soda brands, certain luxury items, certain cars, think about what do those items bring you and give you that makes you so loyal to them. Maybe it's the high quality product at an affordable price. You somehow got wrangled into their customer loop, and think about how do they keep you thinking about them? How do they keep you coming back? It's not because their Facebook page is cool or because they have a lot of followers on Twitter. People on all these platforms are dropping like flies. Where they all end up and what ends up happening, I'm not sure how it's going to unfold, but the writing's on the wall. All these platforms are probably not the way to sell things necessarily anymore. Unless, say, you're buying ads on them. We'll see how that ends up unfolding, because if you go on Instagram and it's just a bunch of people selling stuff to a bunch of other people selling stuff, maybe there's a customer there. But just for the average person to show up and just constantly get ads and constantly get, maybe not super authentic content, because it's just not worth the time to sit there and upload a bunch of videos to IGTV because there's just not enough people watching them, or they found this great audience at another place and people are spending their time posting their content in these little micro group type of social media accounts. It's not clear to me like what's actually going to unfold. The only thing that's clear to me is that social media is not as important anymore as it was. We're shifting into something, and I think it's a huge weight off of everyone's shoulders because you don't have to worry about having followers or people liking your stuff. I think you can focus the work that you're doing on getting people to discover your products and discover your thing or whatever it is. I think we can direct our attention and our efforts into something that's even more valuable than social media, which is publicity and really great direct marketing and possibly buying ads if you can afford it. And I always think it's not as popular, but I always think event marketing is super fun. You don't have to do it alone. You could do it in groups with a collaborative event with other brands. And you can do it online. You can do it in person, depending on, you maybe can't have a rock concert anymore, but maybe you can have micro events, in-person micro events, who knows? We've just all got to get very creative, and everything is changing. But I think ultimately it's changing in the direction that the power is being taken away from the people with huge budgets, and it's shifting into things being achievable for just the average person. Money does help with some stuff, but you also don't have to have money. You don't have to have paid ads. Sure, it's helpful, it works, but working on your press, working on your relationships with the people in your industry, that doesn't cost any money. That costs time. But I think overall, if you spend all your time working on that, it's really valuable. Way more valuable than Facebook friends and follows. At least from 2021 on. Just some thoughts for today. I just wanted to throw that out there. And I guess that's the show for today. I still don't know how to end the show, so I'm just going to play the music.